We're going to show an installation of the Shimano foot stretcher. The first thing we need to do is take measurements of the current foot stretcher. We will identify the foot stretcher angle and the angle of the boat. We will identify the heel depth from the gunnels. And we will identify the pin placement to the distance to the heel. Once we have all those angles, we will then assemble this Shimano foot stretcher to meet the specific angles and measurements. Now that we've established the degrees of angle, the heel depth, and the pin to heel measurements, we're going to assemble the Shimano foot stretcher. Take it out of the box, we put in the bottom bracket. We will take our distance between the two pivots, which should be approximately 15 centimeters. And we will tighten up. After we've assembled the bottom tube, we will then install the crossbar. Now that we have the Shimano foot stretcher assembled, we have placed the crossbar inside the 4 C-clamps and attached the boat manufacturer's sawtooth tracks. During this process, we will leave the C-clamps loose to make fine-tuning adjustments through the process. Now that the foot stretcher is in place, we can bring the foot stretcher up to increase or bring the foot stretcher back to decrease the angle. Once we've established our angle, and we have measured the distance across the boat to center the foot stretcher, we can begin tightening the C-clamps. Now that the foot stretcher is assembled, measured, and in the boat, we will determine the heel depth. We will install the shoe. And we will find the appropriate measurement. Once the shoe, the heel depth, is at the appropriate measurement, we will disengage the shoe, and then we will tighten the 4 Allen bolts to the appropriate level. And now our virtual pivot is in place with the proper foot stretcher angle as well as the proper heel depth. Now that the foot stretcher is inside the boat with the proper foot stretcher angle and heel depth, we will measure the pin to heel. We have to make a minor adjustment towards the bow. Measure again for accuracy. And now the Shimano foot stretcher is in the boat at the proper angle of 42 degrees, at the heel depth, and at the pin to heel measurement of the previous foot stretcher. We will now reinstall our wing nuts and tighten the foot stretcher in place.